Well, I'm definitely late to this one here, and I'll explain. It's the new YSL Y EDT. For those of you who are unaware, if you don't know this, this had to be reformulated because of the increasing restrictions that the perfume industry is facing. They were either faced with the decision of discontinuing it, which would be hard to do considering this is a flagship fragrance, this is the head of the Y line, or reformulate it and re-release it, and that's what they did. Now, what I do actually admire a little bit about this whole thing is that they seem to be a little bit more public about it. We have a new note breakdown here, a couple things have changed, and it seems like the brand was maybe giving us a little bit more information and kind of saying, hey, we're re-releasing this, here you go. You know, they didn't try to just brush it under the rug and hide it and tweak it and, you know, maybe think that people wouldn't notice or whatever it may be. So I do think that's cool. You guys may remember YSL Y EDT bottles were going on sale for like half off, like they were on clearance and people were wondering what was up. Well, that's why. They had to get rid of all this old stock so they could make room for the new. I bought this from the official YSL website here in the United States as soon as it dropped. Like the morning that it dropped, I ordered my bottle and I paid for overnight shipping, UPS, and the last time that bottle moved was April 25th. Today, I think, is May 15th or something like that. What are we? May 16th, actually. And still have yet to see that bottle. So I went on Macy's and I ordered another one. And this one luckily came within a couple days. So that's why I'm so late to this one. I waited around. I'm like, yeah, it'll show up at some point. And it still hasn't. So I'm going to open this one up. I'm going to tell you how it smells, how it compares to the original, and which one I like better. All right. I'm going to have to be careful here. And the reason why is because the bottles look the same. Now you may look at some pictures and, you know, it may look different in pictures for whatever reason, but yeah, there's a slight coloration difference. So I guess I'll have to note that. This is the old, this is the new. The new has a little bit more of a blue tint to it, if you could see it. I don't know how well camera's going to show it here. Again, old here, new here. This one is slightly darker, this one's more clear. So I'm going to set that aside, the old one, and make sure not to mix them up. Of course, if they're different enough scent-wise, it'll be an easy indication as well. Let's go and figure that out. See how it smells here. So, opens up just like YSL Y, EDT, the DNA in general, right off the bat. You know, it's a clean lavender, kind of aldehydic, fresh, that sort of thing. You know, it's a very common DNA now. It's becoming more and more common. You know, just a bunch of other brands tagging along and that sort of thing. And of course, we do have a lot of flankers now. But I like it. You know, it's YSL Y EDT. Now would be a good time, I guess, for me to spray the other one on my other hand here. And we'll do a side-by-side comparison. So, old on this one. Maybe one thing that I do notice a little bit right off the bat is that the new one maybe has a touch more of a sweetness here initially. Kind of more reminiscent of YSL Y EDP. You guys know that the EDP is stronger, it's a little bit sweeter, it's a nice flanker. I love the EDP, love the Parfum as well, or the Le Parfum. Old, new, yeah, you know, they're very similar for sure. A hint more of a sweetness immediately off the top with the new one, but that's really kind of the extent of it there in terms of the opening. Other than that, they're doing a really good job of keeping them very close. We'll go ahead and take a look at that note breakdown here. Up top we have aldehydes, bergamot, and ginger. In the mid we have lavender, geranium, clary sage. So those three notes there are kind of the common new trend, it seems like. It's kind of why it has a similarity to a lot of things now. And in the base, we have olibanum, vanilla, cedar, and ambergris. Again, that's for the new one. I want to take a look at the old one, the old note breakdown, and it's different. So for the old one, we have aldehydes, bergamot, ginger, mint, and lemon up top. We have apple, violet leaf, sage, pineapple, geranium. We have ambergris, musk, cedar, vetiver, balsam fir, and incense. So a lot more notes and different ones. You know, the new one is adding that vanilla in here and the olibanum as well. Taking out the incense though, keeping the ambergris, keeping the geranium, sage, no lavender in the original, but this one has lavender now. Differences for sure, but still a lot of similarities. It could just be that they're choosing not to list some notes just to kind of, you know, bring it back. A lot of brands are just going to 3 notes and that's it. So at least they're not doing that here. I will say this, one thing I am noticing with the new version here, more than the old, is this hint of a floral. In terms of the notes here, don't really have a floral component going on, at least that they're giving us, but almost like a jasmine or something. You know, just a little bit of a floral kind of freshness, and I would imagine that they're probably having to put something in because they had to take out liliol, which is the component that, of course, they're banning. A lot of fragrances have already been reformulated and discontinued because of that. And I believe that, from what I remember, I did a video on it, I should remember it, but I want to say it was like a floral note. And so the original probably had that, or it did have that, I'm sure. That's why they had to reformulate it. To kind of give off a fresh floral smell. And so with this new version, in order to keep that, they probably took that out. And to me, it smells like a jasmine. I'm not the best on florals. That's not my area. But if I had to put money on it, I would say kind of a jasmine, a white floral, something light. You could pick up on it relatively prominent over the original version there. So that's kind of the main difference I'm noticing. Now, it's too soon to tell in terms of the dry down, you know, the olibanum, the vanilla. I think that would be cool to get some of that. A little bit out of character, probably. Even though the original did have, you know, incense, that sort of thing. You know, but really no other sweet notes. So it'll be cool to see in the dry down here if that starts to come through. Another thing, of course, is going to be performance. You know, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be a little bit better? YSL Y EDT is not known for being a good performer. The good performer of the line, actually two of them now, will be the Eau de Parfum and the Parfum. Those are fantastic performers. The EDT has never really held up. So yeah, I'm not really for sure, you know, how this one's going to do. If I had to guess, probably 6-hour range. As it sits right now, between the two, again, new and old, I'm picking up on just more of the new version. It seems to be standing out a little bit more and kind of overshadowing the smell of the older one. So I do think it is possible that potentially the new version may be a little bit stronger, but we'll have to see. So I'm going to go in and start to wrap this one up here. Final thoughts, I think it smells nice. You know, if you like YSL Y, you're going to like it. That is the original. You're going to like this one as well. For me, I may actually prefer it over the original version. I kind of like the addition of the florals a little bit more. I'm looking forward to getting into the dry down and seeing, but as it sits right now, I am really enjoying it. Now, I don't like it more than the EDP or the Parfum. Those are my bread and butter fragrances. I love those. I wear them heavily, especially now that it's been getting warmer. It's never going to be better than those. But if you want kind of the freshest version, aside from the Eau Fresh, which I believe is potentially being discontinued, I'm not for sure, this would be a good way to go. Either this or the Eau Fresh, you know, if you can get your hands on it, if it's not discontinued, whatever. I think it is still available, but that one, it kind of strays further away from the DNA. So if you want a fresher version of YSL Y EDP or Parfum, it makes sense to get the EDT. And this would be very, very appropriate for super hot days. Quality is great, it's smooth, it smells nice. Again, we'll go ahead and kind of show you the bottles here. We've got the new one here, the old one here. Slight coloration difference, but other than that, you know, they are very similar. And again, scent-wise, they're more similar than not for sure. I would say the average consumer would not tell a difference. I really don't think they would. They would just go to their local Macy's or Sephora down the road, scoop in, pick up another one, and keep wearing it, and they're still going to like it. But if you have more of a developed nose, if you're able to pinpoint notes better, if you've been smelling a lot of things like most of you have, you'll probably be able to tell a little bit of a difference. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.